Counter-Strike is known for having leaks that frequently shake up the community. Most recently, we had the leaks talking about the volatile case in the arms dealer, but besides that, there's actually a ton more content that's leaked for future updates. Some as recent as this month, others in the past when CS2 first launched. But this latest stream of leaks suggests that the current Armory Pass system is likely just a precursor to a new, more comprehensive operation, which yes, would mean the return of the traditional content drops that we know and love. Now there's also leaks in the game files that indicate a bidding system that's under development, but would allow players to wager their armory stars. But in terms of gameplay enhancements, data mining has confirmed the work on the official reintroduction of the fast-paced retake game mode. There's also multiple map variations. So today I wanted to take a deep dive into all the leaks for Counter-Strike 2 and talk about all the features, systems, and new cosmetics that could be coming to the game in the very near future. Now it's important to me to start this video off with a disclaimer. Before we get started, remember that everything we're discussing here is based off of leaks. Some of these findings, especially those found deep within the game files, just know that they're still unconfirmed and there's no guarantee that Valve will ever fully release these into CS2. Now with all that being said, we start off with operations. The potential for operations to return in Counter-Strike 2 has been a hot topic, primarily driven by the strong community demand and new data mining discoveries. The operations in CSGO were significant paid events that introduced a bunch of new content, new weapon collections, agent skins, maps, basically anything that you could think of. We got it back then. Gabe Follower on Twitter, the very well-known leaker, recently found strings or code that heavily suggests that Valve is either actively developing or at the very least seriously considering the traditional operation features. But the very existence of the code referencing things like a mission system or specific operation strings feels that the full operation is being developed, and it could be the perfect vehicle to address the content gaps. But now with the introduction of the Armory Pass, this has complicated the discussion of operations, as on one hand it's viewed by many as both the possible replacement for the traditional operation model, and that's by that the Armory Pass's progression system is functionally similar to the Battle Pass mechanics seen in the final CSGO operations, like the Broken Fang and Riptide operation. Even back then, this would allow players to earn credits or stars through XP, which then would be redeemed for items like weapon collections, agents, but the older system was closer to the Battle Pass system that we know nowadays. But the Armory Pass in its initial launch lacked the core content that defined operations. It didn't launch with new game modes, it contained no non-lore driven co-op missions from the older events, and while the competitive map pool might have been updated, it didn't feature any slate of new operation exclusive maps. The Armory Pass has essentially changed the reward structure of an operation, focusing solely on the cosmetic progression and nothing more. There is two main possibilities: either one, Valve intends for the Armory Pass to be a permanent year-round system, or with what we know nowadays, updates every 4 to 6 months, or the Armory Pass is simply the progression framework for future operations that will, one, utilize the Armory Pass for both the armory progression and the operation content. But now recently, with the discovery of the game journal element that was the primary in-game item and interface for previous operations, and it's now being referenced into the CS2 game files, this now strongly suggests that Valve is actively working on, or at least designing, a new version of the mission tracking system tied to the major event game journal. And as you can see on the screen right here, this is a tweet from Gabe Follower where he states that the new CS2 update mentions a new weird system called game journal, and someone replies with something like the operation book that we had back then. So it does seem like the future of operations is going to be different, but definitely something to look out for. Now, talking about the Armory Pass, we've had a ton of data mined about the leaks regarding the armory. You've heard me talk about these in the past, but I love talking about the leaked bidding system, and not to mention the newly leaked pets. So first, the bidding system leaked by Gabe Follower. This is an upcoming feature tied to the in-game Armory Pass, and it will function as a high-stakes blind auction where players use their earned armory credits, referred to as stars, to bid on limited time items. And according to the leaked localization strings, a limited edition item will become available for a set time during which players can place their bids. But the key element is that players will be unable to see the current highest bid. Players will be able to place, confirm, or cancel their bids before the deadline ends. But if a bid is placed and the player does not win the item, it's stated that the player will lose their stars completely. And that's what seems to be leaked in the game files. But the other day when I was discussing this in my other video, someone commented and had this to say: "It's an auction house, not a roulette wheel. Blind auctions go to the highest bidder without observation of the competition. In the real world, if you don't win, you don't pay." It's really hard not to call it gambling when everyone involved but the house and the winner lose all. That would be the exact opposite of the direction of the Genesis terminal. So there's definitely a lot of uncertainty when it comes to the bidding system that's leaked in the Armory Pass. But transitioning to the next topic, the rewards through the bidding system include the highly anticipated chicken eggs. And yes, yes, will hatch into the player's very own pet chicken. Now, the concept of pets in Counter-Strike 2 has been a prominent and highly debated leak, with numerous references to the animations in the game files. The vast majority of the leaked data points to the iconic in-game chicken as the first type of cosmetic pet, and it seems the developers are leaning into the meme status of the chicken in the Counter-Strike community. This leak suggests that players would be able to obtain a chicken egg. This egg would then progress through 3 stages: the egg, the chick, and the adult chicken. And we also do know that the chicken eggs are somehow linked with the Armory Pass bidding system. The chickens are also rumored to have a unique color patterns generated for each one, making each pet one of a kind. There's data mined animations that show the player interactions, including holding chickens, which would suggest that players can hold the pets in the main menu screen. The files also include mentions of players being able to feed and pet their chickens, suggesting a care system. Definitely something I didn't expect to ever be added to Counter-Strike, but that's besides the point. So next up, probably one of the biggest issues I have with the game right now is the map pool. Leaked in the game files for a long time now, we have Cache in the remake and return of Cobblestone, with a twist of it being Snowy Cobblestone. Cache, the legendary community-created map, is all but confirmed to be making an official return in the competitive map pool in CS2. Following significant developments involving the original creators and Valve, the CS2 remake was spearheaded by the map designer FM Pone, who released the fully updated map on the Steam Workshop in March of 2025. Valve officially purchased the map shortly after its workshop release. FM Pone confirmed that Valve reached out to buy it on day one of its release, calling it a great honor and expressing the confidence that the map is now in great hands, indicating a formal transfer of the map ownership. This is further confirmed by FM Pone himself, where he says thank you for playing Cache, and thank you to Sal Garazzo for allowing me to work on his original creation for so many years. Thank you to Counter-Strike for being Counter-Strike. And then with Aqua replying, this pretty much confirms that Valve bought Cache. No wonder FM Pone hasn't touched this since March. Hopefully Valve gives it a proper optimization and finally removes Mirage. It's about to turn 12 years old. And now even more information from the game files further supports the official integration. And following the purchase, data miners discovered references to DE Cache appearing alongside other maps in the official competitive map pool. There's also file references such as the new smart prop model found in the maps files, which suggests that while FM Pone's version is complete and playable on the workshop, Valve is likely making its own optimizations and tweaks, possibly to address the performance issues and multiple FPS drops. Now, also leaked in the game files is Snowy Cobblestone. Yes, the leaked snowy version of Cobblestone in Counter-Strike 2's game files was discovered by data miners and includes the following details. The Cobblestone remake will have a snowy theme and assets, and references to a winter or snowy version of the classic DE Cobble has been found. This includes the discovery of winter-themed assets in a folder called Cobble. More recently, in early 2025, there were mentions of a developer material for snow sparkles and a checkmark to enable the snow layer in an environmental shader. Another leak showcases an in-game mechanic called Snow Trails, one of the most unique leak that suggests a new gameplay mechanic that allows players to leave visible trails and footprints in the snow. Early findings dating back to August of 2023 mentioned developers seen playing a map internally named DE Cobble_S2 using the Source 2 engine. The map has reportedly been in the works since before the official launch of Counter-Strike 2. Some community speculation is that the snowy version might replace the older iteration, more similar to how Valve added the rainy version of Train to CS2. The next leak that I wanted to talk about is the return of retakes in other game modes, and primarily these leaks are regarding the new and returning game modes in CS2, and that focus on, yes, retakes, and the lesser extent, and the uncertain future of Danger Zone. The return of the official retakes game mode is one of the most consistently leaked piece of information as of recent from data miners. We have consistently found references and new code strings related to the retakes game mode in recent updates. In some instances, the game mode's files were so complete that data miners were reportedly able to launch a basic working version of the mode, and it contained all the necessary features from the CSGO version, such as spawn points, round rules, and the initial weapon menu. This reoccurring appearance is complete and functional code suggests that the mode is essentially ready and is likely going to be released in an upcoming major update. Now to talk about the leaks surrounding Danger Zone. The leaks regarding the Battle Royale mode are such more mixed and lean towards not returning in the near future. Several reports indicated that Valve has been removing the older and leftover Danger Zone code from the CS2 game files, suggesting that resources are not being allocated to porting this mode into Source 2. As of right now, the technical leaks indicate that Danger Zone is unlikely to return, despite the dedicated fan base. But now my thoughts are that even if Valve doesn't release it themselves, I have a feeling that the community figures and map developers alike will make this happen one way or another. There's also some other minor modes leaked, like the Bounty Hunt. Data miners found mentions of the Bounty Hunt mode, which is is a deathmatch variant that was first seen in CSGO Operation Hydra. There's also been brief mentions of updates related to a surf mode in the code, suggesting that some preparation of a custom game mode for community server support, but as of right now, nothing really points to an official Valve surf mode. But to wrap it up, the CS2 community is constantly going crazy of speculation with new leaks. Data miners are frequently diving into the game files after updates, finding new code references and assets that hint to a ton of new content. From cosmetic additions like the leaked agent clothing, there's weapon collections, new maps, remakes. I really tried to talk about it all. Some have been leaked for a very long time, like the agent clothing for instance. Others more recent, like the retake game modes. It's just not possible to cover it all in one video. I did my best to try to cover some of the major leaks so that you guys have some insight of what's happening behind the scenes. Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and you found it informative, please make sure drop a like, subscribe with your notifications turned on. Also guys, don't forget about the giveaway. Those details will be in the pinned comments of this video. This has been Zach. I'll catch you guys in the next one.